6:43 p.m. And I'm Karen Rommel, I'm the first vice chair. Your chair, Alan, is on the other side of the planet, and Monterey's a sister city in helping with the pronunciation. Azerbaijan. And, okay, so we're starting at 6:43, and the first item is something we're adding, which is the declaration of the quorum, and ironically, this is the first time we have not had one. But anyway, go for it, Joe.
Okay, so according to our bylaws, we must have 50% plus one of our voting members to meet a quorum, which is 1920. We are now at 16, so we can just have our meeting, just not vote on it.
Great.
Then just one other thing, conflict of interest policy was brought up at a last meeting. I just wanted to let people know. We do have a policy and procedure for that, established back in 2011. It goes on to say no MCDCC member shall vote on a question in which he or she has a direct personal or pecuniary interest in common to other members of the organization, which is related to money. It also goes on to say the chair or any member of the committee may identify a situation in which this prescription obtains. In cases where the member does not voluntarily recuse him or herself, the chair will rule whether or not the individual will be permitted to vote. And the chair may be overruled by a majority vote.
Majority of voters said,
yes.
So that's the thing, right? Chair can make the call on it, any of you can bring it up, and you can override the chair with the majority. I also want to thank you, whoever brought the popcorn. If you see it on the floor, please pick it up, because if we step on it, it's hard to clean up, and as we know, they have an ant problem in this building. So, I was going to look up the word pecuniary. It's something to do with finance, basically financial interests, right? But the word specifically, I wanted to look up what that is. So,
related to money.
Related to money. So anyway, so we're gonna remind about that at every meeting at the request of some folks. Thank you very much. Agenda review. Now we can't approve it because we don't have a quorum, but we can review the agenda and you can suggest additions to it if you would like. Anybody want to add anything to the agenda? Okay, we'll move on and we'll flag that number 3 that we need to. I guess we're just going to move on without voting on the agenda. We're just going to move on with that. Taking the oath, there is no one to take the oath tonight. There are a couple of people listed on the sign-in sheet if you're ever curious where there are openings, where there are vacancies, or people that have been placed and are waiting to take the oath. That's all available for anyone to see at any time. It's also on the roster. It's updated on the roster that all members have access to. We have people that have filled out interest forms. Gonzalez is one person here tonight. She's checking us out to see if she might want to be with us. Thank you for being here, Dulce. Okay, public comment. This is on non-agenda items. Any one of you could speak on a matter not on the agenda, on any matter that is within the scope of what we're doing here. So if you could raise your hand, I'll stack people, I'll write the names, and someone who enjoys timing, would you please do a minute, and we'll call the minute, and we'll all keep track here. So Yvonne, Elena, Paula, Jan, Tyler, David. No, not David. Okay, you're allowed to change your mind, but at least we know right now we've got Milan, Elena, Paula, Jan, and Tyler. So, and who likes to time?
I got it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Okay. Since you're speaking, Joe's on.
Hi.
Milan.
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Yvonne Stone, and I've been a member of this committee for decades. And I'm concerned about, of course, what's going on in Chinatown with the homeless people And I was just wondering why we didn't find out about the 2 women who was killed, and they found dead on the streets the next day, because the women in Chinatown don't really have a place to be, because Dorothy's Kitchen does not sleep women anymore. And they're building this big 90-unit apartment building, and we were told there's only going to be about 10 or maybe 20 homeless people in that building, and I don't know who's going to be, the rest of the people who's going to be in the building. And also I'm concerned about reparations for the slavery conditions of African Americans. Thank you.
Thank you, Yolanda. Elena?
I'm Elena Lewis, and I mentioned this at our last meeting, but I am running for chair. As most of you know, Alan is stepping down in July, and so I just would appreciate the votes of all of you folks, and if you have any particular concerns about what I might do as chair, I'd be happy to chat with you, and I really want as much input on how to make the committee even better, because it's a fabulous committee, but we can always strive to make things better. So, thank you. You'll consider voting for it.
Great, thank you, Elena. Paula?
I just wanted to let everyone know that LAFCO, the local agency formation committee in Monterey County, approved the annexation of the Ord communities for the water district, the Meridian Coast Water District, and this is 21 years after myself, and I will say Ron Stone also went to court. The water district sued us when we were, to ensure that there were rates, and Mayor Oglesby, I came before city council meetings and led protest year after year after year. Spoke to many meetings. Ron spoke to Judge O'Farrell, got him to direct the district to do that, which they did not do for all these 21 years. But today that is happening, so we will eventually be able to vote and run for the Meridian Coast Water District.
Finally, progress.
Yep.
Thank you. Jen?
It's hard to pass on news like this. I hate putting out bad news, but I know a number of you were close to my husband, Martin Needler. He's an incredibly brilliant international scholar in international politics and dean, and ultimately an entertainer, a singer, and actor here in Washington Theater. And I want to put on a program, celebration of his life that I think his friends would appreciate and enjoy. And I don't have it pinned down exactly, but I think it will be on probably the 20th of July, the 20th or the 21st, anyway, that weekend. Late afternoon, probably about 5. But I will try to get the word out, but I thought I should let you know anyway.
Will that be at your house, Jim?
What?
Will that be at your house?
No, it will be at the Irvine Auditorium at the Monterey Institute. So I think that will probably be the 20th, but I'm not absolutely sure. It might be the 20th.
Thank you. Tyler?
Well, obviously, my deepest condolences and sympathies to you at this time. It just was relaying my condolences to Jim. I would like to just let you all know very quickly about an event for Assembly Member Robert Rivas here in Salinas this Saturday. We would absolutely love to have any and all of you attend. I have flyers for them if you guys are interested. And it's going to be this Saturday here in Salinas at the Growers Pub at 3 o'clock. So come out and see our Assembly member. He's doing great work for us and come support the campaign.
having a speaker tonight. And Jan, I know I could have talked to you personally, but kind of at a loss to what to say. But thanks, I think you could letting us know and sharing it, and if we can do anything.
You've already done it.
So there's an opportunity for speakers. If your club would like to bring a subject topic to this body, a speaker, a presentation, there's half an hour allotted for that. The half hour needs to include a Q&A with the body, and you can talk to Jan or to David Kong, who is yet to arrive. David is our development officer, as you're aware, if you would like to do that in the future. Consent agenda, we're going to bypass that because we don't have a quorum to vote. Hopefully we'll get one, and if not, we will pass it next month. All of those items were provided to you in advance, so if you want to pull something to discuss tonight instead of voting on them eventually as a consent agenda, you may do that. Is there anyone that would like to pull something from the consent agenda?
It's not to pull it, but just to note that Gary Collins was going to be the person, I guess, who would have answered any questions, and he isn't going to be here, so he suggested holding off till next month. So I don't know if that's, maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
They
had authority to do that, but it's not really, he's informing us, we're not really on it. They had the authority. Yes, thank you though.
Point of order, I think the word considers comes from quorum and can consider that. It's actually business. You can't pull it.
Oh, can't pull it. So we're not pulling anything from the consent agenda. So if you want to pull anything from the consent agenda, make note of it on your notes. And if we achieve a quorum tonight, then we can pull that later. State party matters. So in your packet, you will see a report, kind of a fun take on things, with comments from Gary Collins and Regina Gage about the party convention. Those are the only two people who chose to offer comments, and they're greatly appreciated. So are there folks that would like to say things in response to about the Democratic convention that was held in San Francisco? Anybody that didn't choose to write up? Yes, Lamont.
Well, it was very big, the convention center was huge, and so there was an awful lot of people, and there was not a lot of place to sit down, especially it's going to be in the general meeting. It was also crowded. And the part about the food, it was a long way off when you came out of the convention center. Otherwise, there was a whole lot of people. I don't know how many hundreds of people were there, and so you couldn't hear or see everything. But there was a lot of people, and we did get a chance to vote for the chair, about 6 different people. And I did see a couple of people from this area. I was told there were quite a few, but I didn't get to see a whole lot of folks. But other than that, it was the busiest convention that I've ever attended in all these years. That's it.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yeah, of course.
I've just, and, you know, these meetings are always wonderful, but this was one of those involved in. It was one of those occasions when you spend an awful lot of your time just waiting. something like 4,000 people
Yes.
there, you know, waiting and having no time to talk to anybody, you know, when it's kind of a problem. But we had all 14 of the speakers, and 14 speakers who were candidates, and they were almost all of them were absolutely wonderful. And so it was a great event. I was a little bit disappointed in the choice of chair for the party for the next season, but the leader is, our new leader is a labor leader, and that's wonderful, and, you know, we'll be good. And please, everybody read this wonderful piece that Gary has put out. And, you know, that will give you a real feel for how these things go. And the thing I like this, that he brought up here, was that, and he reminds me of my garbage home. She said that she had raised $17,000 from former boyfriends, and I think we would all like to understudy her. How to deal with former boyfriends.
Is that one rich boyfriend or 10?
Inquiring
minds want to know.
Anyway, that's it, but please read it, because it's a great coverage.
Well, I mean, I personally had a great time and had my moment of, fame with my picture with Beto O'Rourke. But the star person who got the get, that's what you call it, is Emma, who interviewed folks and got her picture taken with any number. I don't know, you'll have to report out on how many candidates, but I wish I had just followed her around. But I mistakenly did not. But it was great, and it was fabulous to hear. And the only negative, and I understand how people feel, a certain way about candidates, was I was disappointed in our behavior, because it seemed, having come from working in high school for many, many years, when people booed, one boo was okay, but the consistent boo to two of the candidates I thought was disrespectful, and I wish someone had stopped it. Other than that, I thought it was fabulous.
Other folks? Emma?
So I'm going to, this was my first, I'm Emma, by the way. I'm going to convention for my first time. It was really cool. I've never been to convention. And so getting to see, being new to politics still, getting to see how everything works, how us as Democrats all come together and understanding, what people are running for, why they're running, and why this is really important was really awesome. And also getting to get interviews with some of the presidential candidates, which was really cool. Having to shove your way through, but it was definitely worth it. It was really cool. And just to see that a lot of these presidential candidates, they're willing to talk. Once I told them, do you mind if I interview you? It's for our local, for the Monterey County Democrats. We're local. It's going for our social media. They were without a doubt willing to do it. I know some of them were like, no, it's okay. Like, I don't want to. But once I said, it's for the Monterey County Democrats, they wanted the publicity. They were so willing to do it. And just seeing how everyone comes together and how it all works, which is really mind-blowing. I know a lot of people were kind of overwhelmed, but I was very much in my element, seeing all these different kinds of politicians, talking to them, and getting to pictures with them was really eye-opening. So I hope to bring what I've learned from convention out to our, not just to the committee, but as well as people my age, to show them like, hey, the older generation wants us to be involved. They really do, and they need us to be involved. So thank you.
Thank you, Emma. Yes?
Did you happen to tape or video your interviews?
Yeah. So if you go on our Monterey County Democrat Facebook, you can see all their interviews as well as our Instagram. And I can also I can send out an email if you guys want to with them. I can include that.
Make sure you like Monterey County Democrats Facebook page.
Yeah,
So
and
you
our
can-
Instagram. You guys have Instagram. Definitely our Instagram as well.
Great, thank you. The one thing I would say is my favorite moment was what the story Gary told about the woman who called us out as a body on the court taking the tobacco money. And as you know, one of the goals of this entity here is we are not doing that, right? We are not taking tobacco money, but they still are at the state level. And then I was happy to be interviewed. For some reason, three different people sent reporters to me. They're looking to take certain boxes, right? So it was because I'm labor and, a couple of different factors, but probably the labor and progressive thing is probably why they wanted.
I don't think they had like a certain thing. I just think they were just like whoever started out in YouTube, but
yeah, for the three people, I said, why do people keep calling and saying, sending them to me? And they said, because you tick a lot of the boxes they want. I'm like, okay. So it was in the local paper, one of the articles, the other five, I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, okay. So the next convention is in November in Southern California. And we all voted for Emma to be a delegate in an open spot that Natalie Gray had. And so you have been seated now. We had to wait until after the convention, so there you go. Jan, do you have more that you want to say? Okay, there will be an executive board meeting of the California Democratic Party in San Jose on August 23rd to the 25th. So if you want to carpool and go up there and see how the executive board functions, let's stay in touch. Okay, Democratic clubs. First, the 6 that are listed here are the only clubs. If you see other Democratic clubs out there in Monterey County, please send them a message, post on their page, let us know. They should not be using capital D Democratic Club, and there are clubs still doing that. I've tried, I've sent them messages, I've requested, and I don't know what else to, I know what else I can do, I don't want to do more. But if you guys want to help, that would be wonderful. The next deadline is July 9th. We are required to give all of our information to the state party, and as we told you before, at any time you want to update your roster with us, we're happy to do that. There's got to be deadlines though. We can't have it at the last minute. So we are going to give all the information you last gave us about your club membership, your roster, your bylaws, and that will become written in stone for the next primary election. So you need to give us that information now if you have it. Please, please, please. Okay. I'm also welcome them. Would clubs like to adopt a night for the debate viewing parties? Just as we go through here, and whoever's going to talk for Progressive Democrats about what they're doing, there's a template. If you would like to host, Progressive Democrats are hosting the debate viewing parties, your club is invited to do likewise. Okay, Democratic women, Monterey County.
Hello, I guess by default I'll give an update. Good evening, Jeannie Gage. So Chris is not here, at least is not here. I think in the first time of our 15-year history, and I'm not quite exactly sure what happened, our June speakers, 2 of them canceled. So it was kind of curious, disappointing. Most people said they did not want a refund, but again, we're just kind of curious exactly what happened. Since, you know, we rent a room from the Hilton, there's costs, there's time associated with that. So we are not going to have a luncheon in July, which is our normal schedule. We will have a luncheon in August, and I'm going to not announce that. I don't want to steal Chris's thunder. I think she's got someone very special. So we'll have our August luncheon, we skip July, and then in September will be our annual sustainability event. So we'll encourage all of you, of course, to come. It's a fundraiser, so it's not $10 to walk in the door. It's a little more expensive, but it enables the Democrats to give candidates, you know, $500, $1,000, $5,000, and so forth. So that's basically my update.
Thank you for doing that, giving that report. Monterey Peninsula Democrats.
Okay, so we had our soapbox, our June soapbox last week. It was very successful. It was a lot of fun. I'm not seeing any of you guys show up. I'd love to see your face, share your knowledge, and share your interests. It would be fun. The next one is July 18th. The topic is the middle class fees. So if you have some ideas around that, we'd love to have you come. We have wine and food and just need more people. We also have coming up is the July 4th parade. I'm hoping that all of these clubs come. I know that Marina's coming. We'll be there too. Women's Dems are coming.
No, I'm not sure about that. I can't confirm that, so. Did you
Whoever was here last time did.
Oh, Chris or Lisa, okay.
Okay, Salinas Valley, I have Salinas.
Anybody here with the Salinas Valley Democratic Club?
Okay, we're reading it down to talk about them. Progressive Dems are definitely going to be there. And Seaside Dems.
Beware.
4th of July.
No.
No. Okay, we really want to have a good show. So bring your banners. Maybe we can get people from the audience to jump in as big, enthusiastic Democrats. But we want to show unity on our peninsula. We want to show that
we're forced to be reckoned with.
Get your batons out so we can twirl our
And
batons.
I understand the Democratic women are going to come in support of the suffrage movement. We're going to do the amendments, the progressives, do you know what they're doing yet?
I don't know. Maybe
Progressives are
something
divided
about
by
liberalism or Green New Deal or something.
But I can't do the Green New Deal.
Something that is inspired. Okay.
You just can't say that in statement, but something inspired by, we can wear the same colors, red, white, blue, green is good. Yes. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Oh, I have a new person that's going to be my alternate.
Oh, great.
His name is Nate Sawyer.
Can you spell that?
N-A-T-E-S-A-W-Y-R.
Oh, S-A-W-Y-E-R. Okay.
So I'm excited. He'll be here. Tell me what he wants to do.
Yeah, so what we need is, well, we can talk about it during credentials, but there's just information you need to email, because there's just, and then he can be sworn. It's announced at this meeting, and then go through the procedure, and then sworn at the next meeting.
Oh, great. Good.
Can I just mention one other idea about the July 4th parade, which would be that if you're not a member of one of those clubs, the central committee is also being represented. We'll be the main front banner, and then all the other groups are going to kind of follow behind. So if you're not a member of those clubs and you want to march, which we would love you to do, wear red, white, and blue, or wear green, or wear white. You know, you can kind of fit in with any of those color combinations, but lots, the more the merrier.
And you're at the table back.
Yeah, and I see there's a,
Right, we have, so we have our number, we're going to be number 43 in the parade.
Did you have a question?
Just about what time?
We need to be here at 9:15?
Okay, 9:15.
it's in the parking lot across from the post office, if you don't know where that is.
So if you could craft an email with all that detail, and then we'll send it out, or we'll give it to the media team,
I
right?
sent out several times, but we can send it out.
Yeah, but make sure media gets it so that they can get it out to folks if it's a y'all come and everyone's invited, with the number and where you'll be and stuff like that. Thank you for what you're
We
doing.
also do a big blast through our.
Yeah, we're putting that in the water if we, we're doing something about the 4th of July parade.
But now that you have a number, that's really help. Thank you for that.
Question.
Do we have a vehicle for the parade? I know in years past we had a vehicle.
You have to tell them if you're going to have a vehicle. They need to know what is you have to describe the nature of your entry. So,
Yes, because we have a space limitation. I'm hoping for 50 people,
but a vehicle,
but we don't have a vehicle. We don't have a vehicle with us.
I was thinking that we may have a vehicle available to us.
So no one ever mentioned that. I've been talking about this for months, so.
I just heard it tonight. That someone may have an interest, maybe too late.
so talk to Linda if you want to see.
I'm not saying it's not possible.
We
I'm
can-
just saying I've got to talk to the coordinator.
So you guys talk about that after the meeting, and maybe the mystery will add to the participation. Thank you. Is there anyone from Salinas Valley Democratic Club who would like to report on that club? I don't see anyone that I recognize from the club. Okay, we'll move on to Marina Democrats.
All right. We are now hosting a quarterly, semi-annually
We're having our board elections.
Yes, this Saturday at the Marina Library. And I'd like to invite everyone to come. We've had some interesting refreshments in the past, and I assume they're going to be interesting this year too.
Is that code or what?
Well, I didn't make the last meeting, and I'm regretting it to this day. There were just some fabulous things there. Other things I wanted to mention, I wanted to ask if the Issues Committee, if we could draft a resolution in support of denying the desalination hoax that Caroline is perpetrating on the peninsula. It is going to affect everyone in this room, even those folks in Salinas. This is a horrible project. It's going to, has the potential to do great damage to Marina, but it has the real prospect of it's already raising the rates on the peninsula. We should be, as a body, we should be totally against this. There are reasonable alternatives. Science has been completely ignored in this issue. And so we'll draft the resolution, but I would like to bring it to the issues committee. Unfortunately, the vote on the 9th by the Coastal Commission is going to happen before our next meeting. So, but this resolution, I hope, will go to our elected officials as well, because they've been astoundingly quiet on this issue. This is the most important thing that's happened in the peninsula in years, and it's been just a complete aggregation of responsibility and even educating themselves on what's going on. It just puzzles me. And I hope it's not for what I suspect might be really One final note, I had a chance to drive from Montreal, Canada to Toronto last week. Wonderful drive. And on the drive, my daughter said, "Oh, have you heard Michelle Obama's podcast?" And I said, "No, put it on." Right? So there are these two African-American women who have a podcast called Two Dope Queens. And they interviewed Michelle, and it's an hour-long interview. And I guarantee you there are things on this podcast you would never have known about Michelle. So it's a podcast. Go to iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. The group is called Two Dope Queens. And it's, I forget the issue number. They do one, I think, every other week or something like that. But if anything about Michelle Obama, it just blew my mind. And it's funny, but it's very interesting.
I'll be making cookies for
Thank you very much.
purple yam jam cookies.
You've never had this kind of cookie before.
Okay, we will look forward to the cookies.
I didn't get that. What was that?
Cookies, good cookies. There will be good cookies.
Where did that?
Progressive Democrats in the future.
Good cookies.
Progressive Democrats. Gary, the chair, is not here tonight. The secretary is here. The rep is here. Do you all have a report?
How was that?
He was out of the country. He was gone. Wes doesn't.
Correct.
Okay, I'll just say then that Progressive Democrats Club, we're hosting the debates. And we're reaching out, trying to get new people from the community. Now is the time between elections where we want to make money, bring money in, and build troops, right? We want to make sure people know we have the Center for Change, why we're Democrats, why it's important to elect Democrats. So all of these activities are an opportunity to bring in people and offer that, all towards winning elections come the March primary, because it'll be here before we know it. So Progressive Democrats has hosted the two debate parties. We've been promoting it now for about a month and a half, advertising it way beyond the debate time. Puppet show, interactive things, bingo, straw polls, just all kinds of things, and good food to try and socialize and get people into the center and get to know us. So if there's another club that would like to adopt the next couple, there is not any paid staff at the Center for Change. Your officers work very hard. Elena is on every committee and works super hard. The officers, they're all doing a lot. Communications team, finance, development, credentials. We're all working a lot. But we want the clubs to benefit from all of this too, right? So we will support you, we'll give you templates, we'll help. So please think about it and maybe host the next set of debate parties. Or one of them, just pick one of them. It'll increase your membership too.
The next.
I'm not saying.
That's what I was just looking, I think they're in September.
Alrighty, we meet on Second Thursdays at the Center for Change, and we were just in Salinas at United Farm Workers this last month. It was really great. We had a presentation on safe ag, safe schools, and we had a bunch of new people, and it was really great.
Karen, the next debates are September 12th and September 13th.
Thank you. Seaside Democrats.
I wasn't at our last meeting, but we had a great meeting. And we had 3 new people sign up, registered members. So we think the next time we meet, we'll put on the agenda at least a month.
Excuse me just a moment. Whoever has audio,
I'm trying to.
can we turn that down? So that.
It's one of those websites that just
No,
automatically.
we had a great, we had a great meeting, and we added 3 new members that signed up. And so, you know, it's really lock them in, but we have enough, capacity that we can try to meet now. So I need to figure out with you, Karen, who the officers are that know what day is free.
Okay.
So if someone can send me some of the free days, we can.
Good. You're on 5th Thursday?
Yeah, right now it's the 5th Thursday.
Okay, yeah, we have a lot of dates open for your regular meeting, and we'll move somebody out for your, if you need. We want the club, we want the space for the clubs. Thank you for that.
5th Thursday?
That's what the date is
The
now.
next one will be August 29th.
Okay, committee reports and updates. We have, again, one of the ways we get so much done, where we have money in our coffers, we had success in the elections, we have all these things going, is the great committee work that's happening, right? It happens outside of here. There's a scope of authority they have, and then they meet and get things done. So we'll go through the committee updates here. If you want to join one, it's all listed on the website. Right here are the people who are chairing. You don't have to be an officer or a member of this committee to be part of a committee. Any Democrat can be a member of the committee. Caspian.
All right, so you should have financial statements for May in the agenda packet. We have put deposits in for 2 upcoming events. I'm not going to go into detail about the events, but the deposits were largish. So as soon as we start getting money in from those events, we'll be holding. But until we start getting money from those events, and I am concerned, which is just fine. So essentially, we just need to bring in money, and right now the best way to do that is for everybody who hasn't done so to pay their dues. I've got 40 people who haven't, and just please get those to me or donate them online, and just let me know that that's what they're for. You can send me an email, or you can put a little blurb in the donation link on our website to let me know that it's for your dues.
Any questions? So we'll do Paula and then Bob.
So do you send out an email reminder to those people who have not paid their dues?
I have not yet, but I can do so now since it's just about time where everybody's dues have expired or are about to.
Bob.
Can you identify the 2 events that we made a deposit on and how much the deposit for?
Yes, there's the South County event to honor Simone Salinas in July. That was $500. And there was the October annual event. That was $2,700.
That's the election time?
Yes.
Elena.
Are those on here? I don't see them.
No, those came out in June, so they'd be on the June financial statement.
So are we really minus more like several $1,000s?
No, because it also doesn't include the money that I moved over to help cover from the events from our non-federal account.
Okay.
1/3 of our expenses for the event deposits I'm taking out of the non-federal account because that's how much non-federal money we brought in the previous last year's events. 50 for primaries, 25 for alternates.
50 for primary, 25 for alternate. Be aware of our policy if you have a financial hardship. Caspian has full authority to speak with you and work something out. We do ask that you give something You know, even if it's $5, we hope it's more than that, but there will be no zeros. Even if it's $1, you will go on the record as having donated money and paid dues to this organization. And we can talk more if someone afterwards wants to know why we have that policy, but, you know, I think it's kind of apparent. And if you can only pay a little bit now, and then later you can give more money, that's cool too. But we just want something on the record. Yeah. And it helps us for budgeting if we know people are going to be doing that. So it's July, it's a fiscal year, right? July 1st through June 30th, $50 for primaries, $25 for alternates, or talk to Cassidy. Any more questions? Cool. Credentialing. So for the Monterey Peninsula Democratic Club, you've named an alternate, Nate Sawyer. So if you could or have Nate email name, date of birth, address, you know, all that stuff, and we'll go forward. Wonderful. Home address to me, you know, or just send me a message and I'll send you the form. Thank you very much. So if all goes well, which of course it will, Nate can be sworn at your next month meeting. Yeah, it's announced at one meeting, and then as long as you get that information, so I've got like 2 or 3 weeks to do it myself or divvy it out. Yeah, next month. Great. Anything about credentials? Anybody have a question? Yes.
I apologize if this is redundant or if we've already resolved this, but I thought it was brought up last month that we have several people who, they've been needing to come here for months and months and months, and for whatever reason, they just can't seem to make it. I mean, I don't think we should be so desperate as a committee, and I'm wondering what that resolution was.
Oh, sure. So thank you for bringing that up. So we did talk about it at E-Board, and it was decided, we talked about all sorts of things. These 2 people that are on the list now have taken the oath before. Should they even need to take the oath, or can they just automatically say they're in? We talked about that and decided, no, don't do that. Then it was to give 3 months, I think, to do it. So, but starting from here forward, that was another thing we talked about. We haven't done that before. Why it's important right now, I don't know, because we've had people go for 9 months, 9, 10 months before. As long as, you know, as long as 10 months. So we talked about that. So 3 months. But I mean, really, there's no rule about that, but that's basically what I've told them.
So starting from this point on, not the past 3 or 4 months where they have not been here to be sworn in.
Right.
Okay. Seems very generous.
Well, because we didn't have, it wasn't contrary to any policy or past practice.
So I want to say that I think part of it is that these 2 particular people have served us well. One of them is Holly Carlin, who was our treasurer for umpteen years, and she is still helping Caspian when he needs it, even if she's not showing up to the meetings as an alternate. She's, you know, given of herself. So I personally feel terrible. She's on vacation right now in Ireland for her to rearrange her trip so she could be here to take the oath. Seems kind of ridiculous.
That would be the expectation.
And Kayla, well, but even, you know, her other reasons. And Kayla, I don't know exactly why she hasn't made it, but again, she, you know, served on the central committee, and this is a shift for her. And, you know, perhaps maybe one or both of them will say, oh, never mind, I've decided to drop out. But I think we need to give them the respect.
Well, it's policy.
When you talk to the primary first before you make that.
We're developing a policy, you know, this is what we're going to do. Why it's a problem, I don't know. It shouldn't be based on who the particular individuals are. It should be a policy and a practice. So this is a change from the way we've done it before, because people have concerns and you get to call the shots on that. So from here forward, 3 months. Get sworn in within the next 3 meetings. Yes, David?
Is it possible amendment to that policy that they did one extension, that is to say that within a 3-month period, they say, I'm not going to make 3-month period, we give them another 30 days or something?
I don't know.
I'm just thinking.
I'm still unclear. Yeah, what the problem is and why it's getting so much attention, but that's okay. That's what we came up with. Joe?
I know the bylaws state, and for each member, whatever your title is different. So for Holly, she's an alternate for Caspian. Caspian's always here, but nevertheless, her position as a member at large and there is no number associated with that title. She doesn't have to be here forever. As long as Caspian's here representing them, then she never has to come to a meeting, according to our bylaws. Now, a primary and an alternate are different, stated in the bylaws. They can't miss like 3 or 4, I think the number is 4, 3 or 4. They can't miss in a row, and then we can start a process of replacing that person. But
Well, that's the
in-
primary, right, Joe?
that's the primary and alternate, so it all depends on their title. Yeah, and it's a long haul process. If we want to pursue it and change the bylaw or whatever, we can do that. But just because we don't see someone here doesn't mean they're violating any bylaws. So it's kind of, there's a little bit of a gray area there.
So next it's Ian, and then Bob.
I think I have three quick ones. I didn't know, I thought we were talking about people being sworn in.
You're correct.
Okay, so we weren't talking about people alternate. Then I think the second one is, it's if you miss so many within 12 months, not consecutive.
Separate issue, correct?
Right. And then I think if the exec board made a change, whether we let people go forever or not, then you made a change to the so-called bylaws. When you say you don't know why people are concerned, when I come here, I just see that same question on the agenda, over and over. So it's not a concern for me other than, are you handling your business? And so has nothing to do with the individual, it has something to do with what we're trying to do. So I have no concern with the extension or the now counting 90 days forward from
Can
here.
someone hit the lights?
But,
Which one is it, all the way in the back?
If the 90 days, where is that at in the bylaws?
It's not, it's tightening things up. The people can complain about it, actually, if they want. We're tightening it up because people had concerns. So Bob and then Paula.
Well, if I understood Joe correctly, for a primary, if they've missed 4 months, is that in a row? Then they've lost their position, is that correct?
No, there's attendance with the seat. The seat itself has to be occupied by either the alternate or the primary, but that doesn't apply to all seats. There are different rules for elected officials, there's members at large, there's no violation of a rule happening. No violation. We're tightening it up because people have concerns, but there's no violation of any rule happening.
But wait, that's not consistent with what he said. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you saying that all primary delegates,
Primary and alternates, but she's not a primary or alternate. She's a member at large.
I'm not talking about
Okay, so we're going to keep raising hands and talking about this one by one. And so then it's Paula, and then it's Elena.
Okay, so in the bylaws currently and going forward probably, there are different types of members. There's designated, there's statutory, there's alternates. So the primaries, I'm not sure if it's 3 or 4. We're in the middle of trying to change the number of meetings. It's not even consecutive. It's if they have unexcused absences. That's what the bylaws talk about, unexcused absences. So someone can be absent. They can say I'm going to be absent. They can call their alternate and say, you show up for me. That seat is protected at that point. Somebody's there. But that primary member cannot exceed the number of unexcused absences. And that's where it's at. And we talked about in the bylaws committee, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, an idea for, it was James that brought this up, a requirement for alternates to attend. But that, I think we thought that was going a little too far. A lot of us, I'm an alternate, and I think Herbert has been here twice in the last 3 years, so I'm here more than the primary is. So, we're working through that. But again, I think the initial problem when we're talking about is the swearing in, because the alternates haven't shown up. Are they really an alternate if they haven't shown up? And there's nothing that says that other than the fact that they have to take it up like everybody else. So in my opinion, in reading the bylaws, that alternate is not an alternate until they've been sworn in.
That is correct. And Elena,
Well, two things. Just to clarify, if you're the primary and you personally miss 3 or 4 meetings, whatever the magic number ends up being, but your alternate attends, you didn't miss the meeting. It's if you miss the meeting and your alternate doesn't show up. So that would be the case with several people today. They're missing the meeting because a lot of alternates aren't here. But then I do want to clarify that what the real discussion was around the taking of the oath and the fact that folks have been on the agenda. These 2 people need to take the oath. These 2 people need to take the oath. And I get it. It seems like if you really wanted the position, you would show up. But extenuating circumstances happen, and we can't say that they were absent because they aren't officially anything yet, right? They're sort of in
that's correct. So I put it on the agenda just for me to remember to track them. It wasn't previously done. So I just started doing that, and then it was just a reminder to me. So I took that off, and I put it over there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop this, and we're going to move this down. Well, I'm good. Hold on, please, just a moment, Lavon. I'm going to move this, so those of us that want to keep talking about this can, but we're going to move through the rest of this agenda, and then what the level of discussion we're having here, I'm happy to have, but everybody that doesn't have to have this conversation. Some people that are really concerned need their concerns addressed. But we got other things we can take care of and come back to it. So 2 people had their hands up before I said that, and that was Lavon and Bob. So Lavon and Bob. Oh, wait, okay, and Lavon?
Yeah, I'm saying it for a while. But, you know, if you're supposed to be, if you're primary, you call the chair and you let them know whatever your excuse is. And that does not mean that your alternate person necessarily have to be at the meeting, because that's an excuse absent.
You are correct.
So where is all this other stuff?
I have no idea, but people who have questions deserve to have their questions answered. So we will continue to answer those questions and address concerns. I don't know, you have to ask them. I don't know, not now, not in the big meeting, but we're gonna come back around to it. We're gonna move on.
I just have a quick question. Didn't you guys discuss this already in the e-board? So,
yeah.
So, I mean, maybe, we want to address these concerns, we should attend the e-board or get sent out the email, what happened in the e-board, just so.
No, we don't send out notes on what happened in the e-board. But you're welcome to come. We're gonna move and we're gonna come back to credentials. We're gonna come back to it. Do you want to keep talking about it? He said he's gonna wait. Okay. Issues Committee, Bill Boastman has an excused absence tonight. He was not able to be here. In my notes, I have that there's been a request for them to take up a resolution in support of not having a D-cell plant. So that will go to them, and we will ask them to look at that. Is there any other concern that someone has that they want to bring to the Issues Committee?
No, the one that I brought up as a public comment reparations.
All right, so if you do, what would happen is you'd be welcome to write a draft resolution like they're going to do and send it to the Issues Committee.
I'll write a statement. I don't know what a resolution.
Well, a statement to adopt. Great, thank you. Okay, on reparations, Lavon, we'll say, thank you for that. Development. David Kong had planned to be here, I don't know where he is, to offer an update on the July 21st event and then the fall event. So you can, Tyler, do you mind, you're on the committee, do you mind reporting on the
Annual event?
October event?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So we're moving along. We have a pretty robust committee and probably like about 6 or 7 people attending on a bi-weekly basis. So we're working hard on it. I'll talk about the newsletter and the comms update, but we got the save the date out for the event in the latest newsletter. It's going to be on October 12th. It's going to be a luncheon this year, 11 to 1 at the Monterey Tides Hotel. And the theme is Green New Deal, Politics in Blue. So Iron bending the art. That's pretty much it at this point. We're working on all of the details as far as sponsorship levels, getting elected officials there, lining up a really cool keynote speaker. So yeah, just stay tuned. But it's October 12th, 11 a.m. So mark your calendars.
Wonderful. So I guess if in case David can elaborate on this if he shows up later, but for July 21st, which is the day after Pride, July 20th is Pride, and July 21st, we're having the salute to Simone Salinas. David has secured a wonderful event, Shine Family Vineyard, and it turned out that Chris Lopez, Supervisor Lopez, could not make the first date. So quickly the date was, a meeting happened and they changed the date. So it's going to be Sunday, July 21st. So there'll be more information about that. And it's afternoon, 2 to 5, it'll be hors d'oeuvres and wine. And our wonderful communications team will have that up, and there'll be sponsorships, and your help is requested in getting it out to people so we can expand our contacts in the South Valley. Thank you. Any questions on that?